Welcome to Pope Digest. Here we cover Pope Leo XIV's encyclicals, homilies, and other messages. Today we're covering his video message that the Holy Father gave to all those gathered at Guaranteed Rate Field here in Chicago. Now, the message was directed specifically at young people, but as we'll see, Pope Leo had quite a lot to say to all the church faithful. So let's take a look. Now, in the very beginning of Pope Leo's message, he says that he wants to mark out that this is the Feast of the Most Holy Trinity. I think that's a significant marker for all of us. It was indeed the Feast of the Holy Trinity, but Pope Leo schedules these things. The Vatican schedules these things on specific days with specific reasons in mind. And to highlight the Most Holy Trinity on a message, his first official public message to all those in America, I think is a nice sign. Now, as he continues on, he talks about community and sharing communion with all of us. Specifically, I'd like to focus on how Pope Leo is expressing his gratitude, but also asking for the people gathered there to strive to build up community, friendship in their families, in their parishes, and in the archdiocese. So I think this is a very common theme of many popes, but Pope Leo here is saying that just like all his predecessors before him, we, the church, are not whole unless all of us are pulling from the same end of the rope. Yes, God calls each of us by name, but Pope Leo here is also reminding us that he calls us as a people. All of us together make up and represent the church. That means you, that means me, that means everyone, whether or not they were continuing to practice the faith and showed up at Guaranteed Rate Field that day, or maybe they were just baptized and they have since drifted away from the faith for one reason or another. Pope Leo is saying, build up your community in friendship as brothers and sisters, but be specific, be intentional about how you build that up. You build it up in your families, you build it up in your parishes, your spiritual homes, and you build it up in the archdiocese. That then spreads throughout the rest of the world. He then spends a couple of sentences here focusing on young people that perhaps through technological means have watched this message. Maybe it's, his reference to the people watching this video right now, us dissecting this together. But he points out that these young people are experiencing times of isolation, great difficulty in families and in the world. I'd like to take a moment here to reflect on what the COVID-19 pandemic did for not just the United States and the church here, but across the globe. Many young people at such a formative time in their lives were disconnected, were isolated, as Pope Leo says, and it presented great difficulty in so many parts of life: socialization, jobs, economy. But what really took a hit is their relationship with the church, their relationship with God. When they were cut off from the rest of the world, so many young people, I put myself in that category, although my daughters like to tell me I'm not so young anymore. We felt disconnected. We felt disconnected from our families, from our parents and grandparents, because the pandemic made us separate. But we also felt disconnected from churches. And many of us started to ask those questions of, why do I go? Pope Leo is highlighting this right now, that young people do ask that question of why. Those of us that are a part of the church, are we giving an answer? Are we answering that why? Are we giving an opportunity to live in the faith, to live as participants in this community? Pope Leo takes this opportunity through the message of Jesus Christ to not speak just to young people, but to speak to grandparents or relatives that are people of faith. Each of us in our lives have someone that has drifted away or perhaps never been part of the faith. Pope Leo is encouraging us to be that opportunity. And you don't need to have a degree in theology or, be an expert. You just have to have a relationship with someone. By having a relationship with someone, by loving them, by being their relative, being there for them through the ups and downs, through isolations and difficulties, you now earn that responsibility, that opportunity to be Christ to them in their lives. And perhaps in those small ways, that's how we all can play our part in spreading the gospel message in our homes, in our parishes, and in our archdiocese. Thank you, and until next time, God bless.